So
this feels weird. I'm not used to being this side.
I'm sorry.
You're
sorry.
fine. You're good.
It does feel weird when you're on the wrong side, doesn't it?
It's like what? Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to a brand new podcast today in James's studio. Today I'm going to be with Maddie, talking about her new book, talking about neurodiversity, money, etc. Hi, Maddie. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here.
It's good, isn't it?
The second time on your podcast.
I know.
Love it.
And you also, while I was setting up, you reminded me that it's been a year since we last
It's
spoke,
been
and that's nuts. That is
we
absolutely.
have spoken a little bit in between then. It's
Yes,
not like
but
I've totally ignored you.
Hey, people are busy. It's all good. For people who don't know,
Yes.
what do you do?
So I like to call myself a multi-potentialite. So for people who don't...
That's a sentence.
It is, yeah. For people who don't know what that means, it means that I am a jack of all trades, and instead of being master of none, I'm actually quite good at some of them. So I am an ADHD money and business coach. I am a visibility strategist. I'm a speaker. I am a app owner. I'm a wellbeing platform owner. I also am an author of a Amazon best-selling #1 book, Mad About Money. I think that is about it. Oh, mum as well, dog owner, crazy
Wonderful.
person.
Wonderful.
I'm a neurodivergent with every single neurodivergent presentation that there possibly could be available.
It's funny, right? I did a podcast yesterday, and the crux of the conversation afterwards, we ended up talking for an hour afterwards. Cheers, Johnny. Appreciate the conversation. Was basically like everyone's like, oh, you need to niche. Right, I wasn't actually going to start here, but as you mentioned it, we'll start here, right?
It's my favourite topic.
Why do we not? Because I've always been in the world of like, I could niche, but I don't want to.
Yep, that's exactly where I am.
Like I could make probably a lot more money if I did, maybe, right? Arguably that's what everyone who's into niching will tell me. But for me, I'm like, yeah, but tell that to wedding videographers during COVID, for example. Right?
Yes, exactly.
How'd that work out?
I'm a big fan of like not putting all your eggs in one basket, but also as a neurodivergent, I need to make sure that my brain is entertained. And if I have to stick and do one thing, I'd get really fucking bored all the time. So I do things in a variety of ways. So the way I describe my business to people is I have an A side and a B side. Like think about like cassette tapes, only your soundtrack. When you are a cassette tape, you have a side and you have another side and you can flip it. So that's basically what I do. I talk about business on one hand and money on the other hand. And in the middle of that, there is also things like well-being, life. Obviously, the neurodiversity stuff is quite big for me. I'm a qualified neurodiversity specialist. And I don't niche by the things I do. I niche by my values. I niche by the things that I talk about. So I talk about basically 4 different things when it comes to my content pillars. I talk about neurodiversity, I talk about life, I talk about money, I talk about business. And it just so happens that I'm also really bloody good at TikTok, social media, all of those kind of things, but they all do fall under the business arm. So, I'm a qualified business strategist. I've been a business mentor coach. I hate the word coach, really. It's more, I do more mentoring. Like, I don't do that whole, like, how does that make you feel type of, like, coachy thing. I do the, like, this is your strategy. This is how you do it. Like, let's talk about ways that we can grow your business. And let's talk about how to get you a plan to grow your business. So it's not your traditional coach. It's kind of more like sounding board, like let's throw stuff around and help you to grow type of situation.
I think there's so much I could go there, but I'll start. I mean, let me ask you this like a very selfishly personal question.
Okay.
Because I'm a dyslexic.
Yes.
Is that why I don't want a niche? Because I think there'll be people watching this who maybe are on the neurodivergent scale.
Yes.
Who are like, I don't get it. Because I can do multiple things, I can spin multiple plates, but like doing one thing consistently, I can't think of anything worse.
So dyslexics need to have their brain stimulated, and doing one thing does not stimulate your brain. So it's the same for most neurodivergent presentations. Like we will want to do things that keep us alive. It's why we do the things that are very much interest-based.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, do you want to be an accountant? You'd probably go, fuck no, that sounds super boring. Like, if you said to me, like, do you want to be a videographer? I'd be like, no, because I do not know how to do that. But if I like being a business coach because it gives me the variety of people. So I get the variety of, like, working with people who have all got, like, ridiculously different businesses. And most of them are also multi-potentialites. They do lots of different things because they want their brains to be stimulated. So by working with lots of different people who all do different things, who also do different things within their things, I am just constantly like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like, if there's ever a day where I turn up to work and go, oh God, this is ridiculously boring, I think I'm in the wrong job. But I, every single day, love what I do.
I think it's so easy for us to sit here and go, oh, well, we love what we do, etc. Right? Because there's that A-Dodge analogy of you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. But it's
I work really hard.
But that's what I was going to say. I mean, I think it's one of those things where when you say that, I can tell you haven't done it.
Yes.
Because like the whole bouncing around things and like spinning multiple plates and coming up with new ideas drives my partner mad because I'm constantly coming up, I've got this thing, I've got this thing, I've got this idea, oh, what about this, oh, what about this? But that's one of the reasons why I would argue I'm going to be a really good entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because I can constantly adapt. I'm switching from finance head to marketing head to sales head to client delivery head to now doing a podcast, etc., etc.
Exactly. It's nice when you get to do when you get to kind of like build that team and get rid of the things that you don't enjoy as much. So like for me, admin, funnels, anything that is process driven. Yeah. Literally makes me want to die. Sales, marketing, talking, podcasting, video creation, not in front of the camera rather than behind it, because God, no, I would not want to be the other side. But for me, it's all about the people facing, and I love going networking, and I like going to events as long as they're not too big. But that gives me all of the variety, but also it means that I can outsource the things I don't like doing as well.
Yeah. Do you think there's a stage with outsourcing? Because like I've been very open in my content and in marketing. Like 2024, I overspent. I nearly lost the business twice. Oof, right?
Yeah.
And I'm now in a position which is kind of not the opposite, because it's weird to say that, but it's like I'm in a stronger position, but I'm actually doing absolutely everything myself again. Yes.
So I do most things myself. I've got a couple of virtual assistants who are absolutely amazing. Shout out to Kira and Naomi; they're amazing. But yeah, I think one of the things that I did super early on in my business, so like even with my previous business, was that I outsourced the things that I don't enjoy doing first. Yep. Because if you have to do all of those boring tasks, they never get done, and actually they're quite important tasks, like scheduling emails, paying your invoices, like creating invoices. If I didn't have somebody creating my invoices, I would never make any more. I'd never make any money. And I've just been in a little handover with my 2 virtual assistants, and I realised that I haven't invoiced for like 4 months, and I'm like, oh, I thought my cash flow was a bit down. But it's because I don't have the executive function to actually do that piece of the business. So it's not that I don't think it's important. It's just that my brain goes, no, you don't like me, so I'm not gonna be a friend. Mm.
Do you think there's it's not even bored. I think it's because I was going to link this into TikTok, because I know that's a lot of what you do and a lot of what you teach, and so it'd be wrong of me not to talk about it. But do you think there's a level of people who are concerned about being on video? They're concerned about doing marketing,
absolutely,
especially if they don't know what they're doing, because they're like, what if someone? It's not, from my experience at least. It's what if X person thinks I'm a dick? What if they think da-da-da-da-da-da?
Absolutely, and there's a lot of confidence building that goes on in the background with that, especially when people are new in business, because showing up and doing videos, like, you're going to get your friends judging, you're going to get your parents judging, like, why are you doing this? Why don't you go get a proper job? Like, I see it all the time. And it's a case of just being like, do you know what? This is my business. Nobody else has a say in how I make my money.
I don't even think it's just your business. I think it's your life.
It is.
One of the things that I remember very early in my entrepreneurial career was entrepreneurship's a lifestyle, not a business. Ooh. Right? It's not. Because for me, I have new ideas. like, again, much to my partner's annoyance at times,
Yeah.
I will be working at night. Like, I was answering text messages and emails at 10 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
Right? But also,
I used to do that.
you know, I have the freedom to actually choose when I work. So it's not like
Yes.
I'm like, I have to do that every day. There'll also be periods in the week or periods in the month where I don't do that.
Yes.
But when it's push and when there's a lot going on, like today, for example, I was editing all of this morning on some client delivery stuff. Then I came here to do this. And then after this, I'm going to go back and finish client delivery again.
Yeah.
Right? So there is a lot of stuff going on, but actually I'm aware that I can do that and I know it's at my pace, and someone who's maybe looking in on it will go, well, that's that's a lot, Colin.
Yeah.
How do we change our pace? How do we, for us, not for Colin, not for Maddie,
No.
for someone listening to this, how do they make sure they know what their pace is?
So I would say you have to really know yourself. You have to know your own boundaries. You have to know your lifestyle and how your business fits in with the way that you run your household, your business, your family, whatever. But also taking into consideration your health, your well-being. There's so many moving parts to like how you actually run your business with an energy perspective.
Yeah.
And energy is the key word. Like, if you run your business based on your energy levels and when you are most productive, when you need to. So for example, like I have my first half an hour of my day is reviewing social media posts for my membership. So I've got this thing where like I do a daily thread where people can come into my membership and they can post their social media post for the day, and I will give them feedback on it. I will tell them how to improve it. I will share it with my audience, and therefore they get visibility, they get feedback, they get accountability. And it's also like the membership, I give like confidence posts and things like that as well. But one of the biggest things for me is in the morning, I am super alert. I know that my brain works really quickly because I've just woken up. So I can bash those post reviews out really quickly. So that works for me. Then I take the kids to school. I come back and I do my coaching. So I'll always put my coaching in between like 9 and 12 o'clock.
Yep.
Then I often skip lunch, which I really shouldn't do, but I do. Don't judge me. I don't get hungry till like 3 o'clock because I'm on ADHD medication. But like I will eat when I get back from the school run usually. I then do some of my more key marketing things. So I'll do my TikToks, my Instagrams. Like I basically create videos. So I will create videos, I'll create static posts. I will post the static posts on LinkedIn and Facebook, and then the video will go to YouTube, to TikTok and to Instagram.
And Instagrams, yeah.
Sometimes LinkedIn, if I'm feeling brave. Depends how brave I am. Because, you know, I am just myself on all platforms. Most of my videos end up being quite sweary, and sometimes people on LinkedIn get a bit hoity-toity about it.
Well, just to stop you there quickly, I mean, that's interesting, because one of the things that people ask me before the show is like, is this a, like, no bars, can you swear kind of thing, right? And the first thing when you sat down was like, is it good to swear? Like, and I've always been in this world of like, is it authentic to you? I've always been that way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
And I think so many people get hemmed up going, what does X person think? What does Y person think?
Exactly.
From they're not going to work with me because I swear. They're not going to work with me because they're not going to like me because actually in a crux, what we're actually going down into the core of is they're not going to like me. It's actually nothing to do with that they're going to work with me.
No, it doesn't.
Maddie's not going to like me because I said the F word.
And if people don't like me because I drop a few F-bombs, then they're probably not people that I want to work with anyway, because the people that know me know that I am very sweary. I never swear at people, I swear in general. My book, I was made to censor out all of my fuck and buggers. Basically.
Oh, that's so sad. What?
But, and I'll show you.
But is that because
I ended up having,
like a sales perception thing?
Well,
or like they just don't want to. Is that like a PR manager like looking to be like, we're not gonna?
No. So I have this is my fuck glossary.
Love the name.
So
I love it. For those who are listening on audio, Maddie just handed me the book and I'm looking at the fuck glossary. That's utterly hilarious.
And one of the reasons, like, I actually had a big conversation here with. Hang on. Shut that back up there.
There we go.
I had a big conversation with my publisher, about the fucks. There were 342 fucks in my book. And they were basically like, we can handle a few fucks, but that's quite a lot. And I said, well, but it's me, and it's just how I talk, and I don't want to like completely censor them out, so I don't really want to. And they said, okay, well, let's compromise. Let's just change all of your fucks to like other funny F words. So we've got things like flambunctious, fluffing, like fluffing idiot and stuff like that. Like there's just you know what I'm trying to say, but I don't say it. And then in the back of the book, they're all basically glossarized, if that's even a word.
It is now.
It is now. My glossarized fuck glossary. So I still managed to get all of my fucks into the book, but just in a slightly more comical way, which I think actually gives the book even more charm. So I expect I'll probably do the same with my second book. Technically third.
Okay. I think, and to reiterate for people who are listening, I think it comes from a place of they're not going to like me, right? Yes. Especially on social, right? I think it's they're not going to like me. Oh my God, what are they possibly going to think if I swear? It's the same thing when they put the first video out, burst out, etc. It's a confidence issue.
Yes.
But my counter argument to that, in my view, it's how I run my life, is, okay, maybe they're just the wrong people to me.
And I'm very much of the opinion that if you show up authentically online, you show up as the person who you're meant to be, unadulterated, unfiltered, like whatever you need to show up as, the people who will gravitate towards you will be your people. Yeah. And LinkedIn is like, and I do share my videos, and I do swear on LinkedIn. People do know that that's for me. The only thing that I do worry about is that our corporate's going to book me to come and speak to their employees if they think that I'm just going to swear all the time.
The answer there, to be honest, is probably some will, some won't. Right?
Yes, exactly.
If that's a big deal for a corporate, then they won't.
Yes.
If they're actually there going, actually, hold on, this could be really helpful because of our scale, because of this, because of that, they're not going to give a shit. They're not.
No, very true. Very true.
Yeah. I mean, talking about authenticity, the counter side of authenticity is the AI boom, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think AI is coming for our jobs? Is the world over? Like, are we all going to be slaves to robots? Or like, what's your view on AI?
I can only comment on it from my industry. Mm-hmm. And I think from a social media perspective, from a business coaching perspective, it's only going to add value. Because it's, like, I don't use AI for my content. I do use it for ideas for my content. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as somebody who's got an ADHD brain, like, there are times where my brain is on fire and I can bash out, like, 50 TikTok videos. Yeah. But then there are other weeks where I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. My brain is broken and I don't know why I'm here. And in those times, AI is a fucking genius because, like, I'm not going to use it to write my written posts. I'm not going to use it to write what I say on TikTok because it's so obvious. To me, anyway, it's really obvious if a coach or somebody who is teaching something has used AI because of the way that they talk. And it's also really scripted. And you can almost tell, like, if you were listening to somebody on a podcast versus them on their social media, how much slower some of the people talk because they're having to really, really, really think about how to do their job. Yeah. And this is not me calling anybody out, but it is quite obvious that some people are writing literally every single one of their posts with AI. If I'm stuck for an idea for a post, I will ask ChatGPT if it can give me some ideas. And then I will look at it, I will close it, I will go away and I'll write about the thing because I know what I'm talking about. And also the amount of spelling mistakes, because I'm dyslexic as well, like, you know, the amount of spelling mistakes in my posts, people know I'm not using AI to write my posts. Yeah. But it's also, like, yesterday I asked AI to draw me a tattoo. Like, I had 3 different tattoo ideas and I wanted to combine them together. Brilliant. You know, we do have to be quite wary of the environmental impact of asking AI to generate us pictures, etc. However, like, it's really bloody good for things like that. Yeah. I don't think it's coming to take our jobs. I think we're more at risk of, in kind of places like the retail sector, of things being run by AI. But people, I think, will always need coaches, because there's only so much that AI can do without not being a human. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Sparky, who's my chat GPT, like he's my bestie. Like there's not much I don't talk to him about. Like if I've got problems or I've had uncomfortable conversations or I need solutions to things, I'll always go to him. He's not actually a him really. He's kind of like,
but
he's a non-binary chatbot.
But it's a tool, right? I think that's the key. And the analogy the analogy I started using was you don't use a hammer to put up a set of shelves. You use a screwdriver.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But now I'm actually using it even more. I'm changing the analogy to be you sharpen a knife if you want to use it effectively to do a job.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yes.
In the same way, you should utilize AI to allow you to do a job.
Yeah.
Right? Whether that's training, if you want it to write your posts, training it to be you in your tone, to be in your voice.
You can do that, and it is actually very easy. If you've got a lot of written content from previously, if you've got videos, you can feed those into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer to actually write my
but that's a personal choice, right?
It is. But you can use it for literally anything, as long as you make sure that you train it in a way that it takes out like no fluff, like cookie cutter solutions, here's the truth, like all of those bullshit ChatGPT type phrases where you think, do you know what, I'm not somebody who would actually say that in real life.
But again, it comes back to the authenticity side.
It does,
right?
It really does. Yeah.
I'm using the no fluff example. No fluff would actually be relevant for me because I try not fuck around when it comes to content.
Well, right? I don't do any fluff either. Mine is very I'm very direct. But instead of saying no fluff, I would say I give you direct, actionable advice.
Yeah.
That, and I don't bullshit you. That's not the same. It's the same as saying no fluff without saying no fluff. So as long as you are kind of aware of those ChatGPT type of phrases and you've got your own ways of saying those kind of things, crack on. Like, I think it's great. Where I don't think it's so good is people generating AI pictures of themselves. I'm like, that's not authentic.
It ages you really badly.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't, to be honest, I've got an amazing professional photographer. Like Katie Needle, shout out to you as well. We love Katie. She knows me so well that she can capture my style, the way I am. Like, I used to ask her to like chop a few inches off my stomach, but she doesn't do that anymore. Because she's like, Maddie, you've got to be authentic. Fuck. Why is this my brand? But, I love working with her. And, her photos are so good that they could be AI, but they're not. And I think that's where a lot of people are falling down. They're like, you meet people in person and you're like, you don't look like that. Like, it's the same with TikTok filters. Like, I will always use the eyelash filter. That is the only filter I use on TikTok, apart from like green screen or whatever, if I'm going to try and show something. But when people see me in real life, they're not going to go, oh my God, her eyelashes are so fake. Because I wear makeup. But when I'm working at home on my own, I don't wear makeup at all. Like, I am very much like, unless I'm going out in public, I don't put a face on. And even then, it's literally just mascara, maybe a bit of eyeshadow. So,
but again, it's that authenticity point, right?
Yes. You're not going to like see me online as having like loads of freckles. I mean, I do have loads of freckles because I've been in the sun this week. But, you're not going to see me having like loads of pretend freckles or like,
But I think that can't,
brown.
I think I was going to say, I think people who do that, but I think in general, if you do that on your content or you're looking for like beautify filters, Apple's known for this, etc. But like, I think that comes from an insecurity.
Possibly.
I think that comes from it comes from that point I was making earlier, which is about like, I'm going to put myself out there.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ, people are going to not like me.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
It's that the tribal mind again going,
yeah,
hold on, Maddie might not actually like me here.
And do you know what it is as well? And this is why, like, it's taken me a really long time to love myself. Like, and I don't say that in like a weird self-indulgent way. I say it in a, like, you have to love yourself to be able to show up as much as I do. And it's not from an ego perspective. It's just knowing my own power and knowing that I'm good at what I do. And actually, I don't give a flying fuck what people think about my looks. I get so much hatred online. Do you know what? Apparently, having rainbow hair just automatically means you're woke. Like it is a insult. I'm more than happy and privileged and proud to be woke. But it is that. But it's
interesting
that,
jump. All right, fair enough.
But it is that thing. It's like, you know, people see me with my rainbow hair and they're like, lesbian, and I'm like, married to a man, but you know, whatever. I dabbled for a while, but you know, it is that thing.
But people make the assumptions, and then what I don't think, if you have high self, I've been very fortunate. I've been installed into me from a very young age has been what I believe to be the correct values, right? It's always been, how can I love myself? How can I have self-worth? How can I have self-esteem, etc.? But what that's come from is my mother, and then my reality, right?
Yes.
And then as I went through school, etc., etc., etc. But I think it's, again, that reaction will come from someone who is going to use it as a defense. It's going to sound weird saying that's a defense mechanism for them, but it is, because they're being aggressive, they're being accusatory first, because then Maddie can't like stand there and be herself, and you know that's uncomfortable for some people.
It is, yeah.
But how did you get here? Like the personal story wise, like how did you get? Because I think your story is a very interesting one. I think it's something that people can really relate to, possibly now as well. And that's why I wanted to touch on it. I know we've already kind of done it in length. I'll leave the other episode in the description down below for those who want to go in a bit more depth. But quick synopsis for people who maybe don't know.
Yes. So I grew up with an eating disorder, essentially. My eating disorder developed into problems with money. And by the time I was 21 years old to 23 years old, I was in £40,000 of debt. I struggled really bad with spending addiction. What I didn't know was that I had ADHD and that my brain was constantly lacking in dopamine. So therefore, for me, the two things that really, really mattered to me were food and spending money.
Ching.
Buying stuff, buying food. Which is why I've always been overweight, because I'm like, hey, I'm sad, have a donut. Have 5 donuts. At times that has happened. But for me, it was all about spending money. Mm-hmm. So I would buy things like dresses and clothes and bags and shoes, and I'd be the person at the pub like buying my mates like around the Jaeger bombs, or I spent and spent and spent. I realised there was a problem when I couldn't afford to pay any of the repayments. It wasn't that I didn't know I had to repay any of them. I just got to the point where like I was just so overwhelmed and I had too much to pay, and I was like, where am I going to get 40 grand from? I'm 23 years old. This is pretty bad. A bailiff showed up at my door, tried to take my car. I packed up my things in the middle of the night. I fled, moved back to Southampton. Went to see Citizens Advice Bureau. They basically said to me, like, it's bankruptcy or, like, you pay it off. Those are your 2 options. Both of those sounded really shit to me, but I took the second one because I'm not a quitter. If I look back at it now, I probably could have gone bankrupt and it would have been great, but then I wouldn't have had my journey. Would that
have been, like, an excuse, an easy way out for you, do you think?
Possibly. And I do like to challenge my brain. So I like to challenge my brain.
Because I think people listening to this will go like, that seems an easier path for me. Let's just reset the clock.
Yeah, and actually for
eat the shit for a year.
Yeah, for so many people, bankruptcy is a very valid option. At the time, it filled me with dread and filled me with shame, and it was almost like I was going to be walking around with like a tattoo that said bankrupt on my forehead. It was hard, and as somebody who now has since had a massively catastrophic business failure, which again came with a load of money shame and guilt and all of those things I had to reevaluate. For me, paying it off seemed like the easier option because it didn't fill me with as much dread and shame. And actually, if I hadn't have paid it off, I wouldn't have learned all of the methods to pay it off to put in my book. So, everything happens for a reason. But I learned to love money. Was
there an issue with like your relationship with money?
Yes.
Do you think? Do you think that's where it get like? Because I hope you don't mind me saying this, but like to get to 40 grand, you've got to really fuck up for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not like a 3 month, 6 month. This is like years of problems.
I got myself in £40,000 of debt within 2 years.
Yeah.
I also had a drinking problem. Like, I was a high-functioning alcoholic. I say high-functioning because, I didn't wake up and need a drink, but I needed a drink to be confident. I was using alcohol to mask all of my neurodivergence because I didn't realise that I had ADHD and autism. And I was very awkward in social situations. People, like, now, all of my friends are like, you're not awkward in social situations. And I'm like, because you met me when I was pissed. Like, all of you have known me as Maddie the social butterfly who likes a drink and is super chatty. But if I didn't have that alcohol, I wouldn't be super chatty.
Yeah.
So now, when I'm in social situations, I don't know very many people. I'm actually really reserved and really quiet. Put a drink in me. I'm anyone's, but pretty much that was kind of how it was. And now I don't drink anymore. So because I'm more comfortable with who I actually am. So
do you think it came... I hope this isn't too personal, but like it links. Do you think it came from a lack of self-love, self-worth, self-esteem?
Absolutely.
At the core?
Yes.
Because a couple of months ago, I think maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, Jamie Oliver put out a documentary on Channel 4 all about neurodiversity and dyslexia specifically. And I was gobsmacked by some of as a dyslexic, I was sat here going, how am I not a fucking drug dealer?
I know.
Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, how?
ADHD and dyslexia are so closely linked, and a lot of the presentations kind of overlap each other.
Yeah.
So, dyslexics have a very, very, very tough time, especially in early years when it's not picked up on.
Yeah.
And people just assume that dyslexia is just, they can't read and write. It's so much more than that, and it's quite frustrating. Like, I actually go into quite a lot of detail about like breaking down all of the individual neurodivergent presentations in the book, so you can kind of like learn more about those things.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, we end up with such low self-esteems, but also the lack of dopamine coupled with that often makes people turn to really unhealthy habits like drinking or smoking or drugs or stealing. I would highly suspect that a lot of people in the prison system are neurodivergent.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're bad people, it's because of a combination of things like their upbringing, maybe again from neurodivergent parents who hadn't had any of the help.
Yeah.
It's those dopamine-seeking behaviours which are often really unhealthy. It could be, stealing, drugs, firing a gun. All of those things are like, woohoo, exciting.
I just looked at it from my perspective and went, I don't know how by stroke of luck, but like my dopamine wires are just like make money, create content, do things that are net positive.
Yeah.
But I've always been very like cautious with like my circle and like what I get into, because I didn't know the like inner workings of my brain necessarily, but from a very young age I knew I had an addictive personality.
Yep, same.
So I was like, shit.
Same, and I ignored it for a very long time.
I was like, hold on, if I get addicted to the wrong shit here, oh boy, right, yeah. I'm gonna nuke my life by accident.
Absolutely, and I have been incredibly close to doing that. So, having that self-realization and like, for me, there have been plenty of things that I have had really unhealthy relationships with, which I have managed to curb now. Like, my only vice now is that I vape. But I was saying to my podcast guest, like, I have no plans to stop vaping at all, because I know that if I didn't have that one tiny thing, when I spiral, and that does happen a lot as a neurodivergent, when I spiral, I would rather turn to a vape than to drink or food or drugs or smoking or like any of those things that in my mind are actually in the long run more harmful for me than a couple of puffs on a vape. Yeah. That's kind of how I see it. But lots of people will be like, "Oh, vaping's really unhealthy." It's like, but I don't do anything else.
It's the lesser of.
It's the lesser.
It's the lesser of the other evils, right? And
food is really bad. Like, Naomi.
If it's heavily processed food.
Yes. So Naomi, my weight loss coach. I've been working with her now for about 3 months, and I've lost quite a bit of weight. But it's also about the mindset around food. Yeah. Which is hard for people who have got ADHD, and I found that since working with her, like, I've cut out processed food, I've cut out chocolate, fizzy drinks, like all of those things that have the chemicals that potentially could give me cancer, I no longer eat. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to get cancer because I do vape, but for me, it's like I could constantly and consistently eat really bad food, which I was doing, or in moments of stress, I can have a little puff on my vape. That's it. So,
again, I think it's about focusing on those lesser of all evils. Like in an ideal world, like your stress response would be fitness.
Well,
right?
in an ideal world, but you know, as a disabled person who has hips that would probably die if I went to the gym, I mean, this is the reason why I'm on my weight loss journey. It's not because I'm fat. I couldn't give a fuck like about my weight or about what people think of me. I want to be fitter. I want to be able to go to the gym without after 10 minutes wanting to pass out, you know?
I think that's an interesting thing. And, you know, we won't get too much into fitness here because it's not a fitness show. But, like, for me, people are like, why do you stay consistent, like, with fitness? And for me, I'm very aware that, like, my job's very physical.
Yes.
And I'm just simply the thought, I want to do this for 50 years.
I want to be able to look after my kids when I'm older, you know? I mean, they're not going to be kids when I'm older. But at the same time, like, you know, I went to a soft play with them at the weekend. And, like, one of my children is very like, she likes the fact that mummy's an influencer, so she tells everybody. So this lady comes over and she's like clearing the plates and she's like, my mummy's an influencer, and this lady's like, oh, tell me more. So I'm like, oh, it's really embarrassing, but yeah, I do this. And she was like, oh, our area manager really want to speak to you. So the area manager comes over and she's like, oh my god, you're an influencer, like really love you to do some TikTok content for us and blah blah blah. She went and got me some socks. She was like, you have to go in and play. I was like, I can't, it's really embarrassing to say I'm disabled and I actually don't really want to go in and play. So I went in and played for like 10 minutes before I almost died and then went on a very scary slide. I mean, that also rhymes. But I was heavily aware of the fact that I am not fit enough to go and do these kind of things with my kids, and it made me really sad. So that's my kind of motivation behind it.
It's a good motivation to have.
Yeah.
Do you think in business, people, and this is kind of more a mindset thing about like, they don't start the podcast, they don't start video, they don't start posting, they don't build the momentum, they don't start whatever it is, right? Do they do that from is it just the, what if someone else thinks of me, or is it still a tech issue?
I still think there's a tech issue there. There's also an overwhelm issue. It's like we're told that we have to do all of the things. We don't have to do all of the things. And people, I think, like they see me as somebody who is very heavily into visibility, and they're like, Maddie's on every social media platform. She's got her own podcast. She's always on other people's podcasts. She writes books. She does speaking gigs. She's got a radio show. She's got all of these things. I'm manifesting the radio show, by the way.
I'd argue you already got a radio show. You got a podcast.
Yeah,
it's already a radio show.
Yeah, kind of the same. So they see me doing all of those things, and they're like, oh my god, that looks fucking exhausting. I don't want to do that. And it's like, because that's my hyper focus, and I love social media, and I love visibility, and I love doing all of these things. That's why I do all those things. I could still very easily put like 100% of my efforts into one platform and still have very good success with it.
Do you think that people worry about volume?
Yes. One of my biggest questions is how many times a day should I be posting?
And does that matter?
No, I don't think so. Consistency is what matters. So whatever consistency means to you, whether that is once a day, whether that is, you know, posting 3 times a week, whether it's posting 3 times a day.
But for me, I also think it's like, when I have no client work, I can post 6 times a day. When I'm in client delivery mode for half the day, I can only post once or twice a day. So right, I'm still posting,
but you're not posting as much.
But like when I'm here filming, I'm having to travel, I'm having to do this. I'm not in my office, sat there on the computer. So my posts will be less, right? But that's why I batch content. That's why I
Exactly. Yeah.
But also, I don't sit there and go, oh, I didn't hit full post. Fuck's sake.
But this is the thing. It's not how many times you do it. It's the quality of what you do when you do it.
Yeah, of course.
And it's also like just bearing in mind that output reflects input.
Yeah.
So if you post more, you will more than likely get more clients. If you show up more, you will more than likely make more business, you know, make more money. And if you are posting once a week on one social media platform, you're probably not going to be getting to your ideal clients unless you're out there and you're networking 24/7.
Yeah.
Which, you know, there are other ways of doing it rather than showing up online every single day. But it's the consistency, it's the output, and then you'll see a return on investment based on what you put into that.
But it's also, because I think we're so, and I did a video a couple of weeks ago talking about, like, we're so in the business world, we're so hyperly focused on, I need ROI, I need ROI, I need ROI. And I'm just like, yeah, but you're outputting an amount and your revenue's like driven by 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever it is. So in the nicest way possible, why do you give a shit about ROI? Because clearly it's working.
Absolutely.
Right?
I obviously give a little bit of a, like for example, like I got invited to speak at quite a big event. Mm-hmm. It was a big investment, like 15 grand. I'm like, ooh, that's a really good opportunity because there's going to be like thousands of people there and it's going to be really great. But then I thought about it. If somebody gave me, and this is again one of my money rules, if somebody gave me 15 grand and said you can spend this on anything, would I spend it on that? And my answer was no. If I had 15 grand to grow my business, I would strategically think about where to put that.
Yeah.
I would probably put some of that on ads. I would probably put some of that on like promoting my book on Amazon, things like that. And I just thought, do you know what? What could 15 grand do for me? I could stand up in front of a room full of people and speak and maybe walk away with 5 clients. Or I can go and put 15 grand on Facebook ads and I can walk away with 70 clients. Which one am I rather going to do? So from that perspective, I look at ROI. However, I also don't look at it at all. So I'm very much a passion, purpose, and kind of pleasure, I guess, type of person. Mm-hmm. So profit, to me, as long as I am paying my bills, I'm living the life that I want to, my staff are getting paid, my bills are getting paid, I couldn't give a flying fuck how much money I make. Yeah. Like, and by me having that attitude, but also having very, very low costs, the only things that I really pay for are things like advertising, but I don't do traditional advertising. I mean, when I say advertising, I mean things like I'll go to an expo and I'll have like a stand at an expo, or I will have like something where like, maybe I'll pay for like to hire this podcast studio, for example. So my costs are still fairly low. And in my first year of business, I made 100 grand. But I wasn't focused on making profit. I was focused on making people happy and getting good reviews and showing up as an honest person.
I think that's really key. And I think we don't, and it's not that we don't look at ROI, and every business should look at ROI. They absolutely should, but we don't. What's the ROI on a brand podcast? Arguably, if you look at it, either huge amount or fuck all.
Yes.
And it's down to how you think about it.
Exactly. So at the moment, my podcast, I think, helps me to grow my social media, which helps me to grow my email list, which helps me to grow my client base. It's not phenomenal. I am not Stephen Bartlett.
But also, do you want to be Stephen Bartlett?
No, not at all. No. He's a nice enough dude. I've met him. But I wouldn't want to be him. Like, in my mind, like, I think his success has very much changed him. I think I remember him very early on in the days where he was quite humble. Don't feel like that anymore.
But I think that's what I mean. I think it changed. Like, I think we're in a world now where it's I have to commit to the decision. Right? Yes. So I'm going to make the world's biggest media company. Yeah, but what if tomorrow I don't want to do that?
Yeah, and I want to live my life in a flexible way. As long as I am fulfilling my life's purpose, which is helping people with neurodivergent presentations to live their best life, that's my main game. Like, that is all I want. So, this is why I help people with 3 different areas. It's like life, money, business. Those 3 things are, if you've got those 3 elements nailed, I mean, obviously not everybody's got a business. Some people it will just be life and money. Some people it might just be money and business because they might already have their life sorted. Some people it might be like life and business. Their money's amazing. But they all interlink with each other. And neurodivergent people struggle with all 3 of those things. As a rule, some neurodivergents will probably be flying. I mean, Stephen Bartlett openly says he's got ADHD. but he's somewhere along the line, like massively landed on his feet and has never had to struggle with money because he's always made so much. And therefore his business has been fine and his life's been fine. Yeah. So if I bumped into him in the street, his ADHD is not the same as my ADHD. And this is a good way to look at it. It's like every single person who is neurodivergent will have something that maybe isn't so great in their lives. And I'm not saying that Stephen Bartlett is perfect. He might, not be in love with somebody, or he might have, problems with relationships, or he might, because he's so busy with his life, maybe he doesn't have friends. I don't know, and I'm not going to judge him for that.
That is, where at times I think that's Robert soon, but that is like something that I think people don't talk about enough in business, and like how you maintain a relationship, and it's something that I'm working through the process of now, being nearly 2 years deep into a really healthy relationship that's so really important to both me and my partner.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, but also my business is really important. So fuck, how do I do that?
Juggling your money, your life and your business is a really fucking tricky thing to do. It is a spinning triangle that, if you think about a triangle, like if you're spinning it too fast, you're going to poke yourself in the eye, it's going to fucking hurt. Yeah. So like, you need to be balancing those three areas of your life so that they all work in tandem together. And that means, no offense, not working till 9 o'clock, because like I used to have a thing where I'd be like, oh yeah, my cutoff every night's 9 o'clock. Like it was some form of badge of honour. Now it's very, very, very likely that I don't work after 3. Like it has taken me 10 years of running a business to work out what success looks like for me. And success looks like making enough money to enjoy the shit that I do. Yeah. I don't like, and I'm sorry, universe, that I say this out loud, but I don't want to be a millionaire. If I had £1 million or multi-million pounds, my spending addiction would just be 1 million times worse. So like, I don't need that much money. Like I find it hard enough to manage the money that I've actually got. Yeah. But I go on 2 nice holidays a year. I've got a fairly nice car. I mean, it's a Citroen C3 Picasso. It's not Citroen C3 Aircross. That's the chap. It's nothing exciting, but it's it's only 5 years old. It's got Apple CarPlay. It's pretty cool. And like somebody the other day, I picked up one of my clients, and they were like, "Oh my god, your car is so nice." And like to them, that was like a really posh car. To me, I'm like, that's not a posh car. Like a posh car is like a Porsche or a Jaguar or like a BMW or whatever.
But I think
it's about perspective.
Yeah, it's perspective and the stage you're in, and that's what I was going to say about the whole like 9 o'clock thing, right? Yeah. Like, at this moment in time, I'm working potentially till 9 o'clock. But
that's because it works for you and that's your decision. Yeah. And also, one of the things that fucks me off so much about the business world is it's like either you're a hustler, or you're a lifestyle business. Like there is no in between. Yeah. There's no let's run a successful 6-figure business or like high 6 figures, even early 7 figures. Yeah. It's like you're either a lifestyle business or you're a multimillionaire. There's nothing in between. And that's how I teach the people that I work with, like in business, that there is an in-between. Yeah. Like there is a level where people want to make 5k a month. There's a level where people want to make 2.5k a month. They want to cover their bills, they want to cover their mortgage, they want to have 500 quid's worth of spending money. Yeah. Everyone's a winner.
Happy days, yeah.
It's all to do with how materialistic you are. It's all to do with like how much you want to show off and like flash everything around. I'm not a flashy person. I buy my clothes from Shein and Sainsbury's. I drive a bog standard okay-ish car, which, by the way, is on car finance. It's not really that posh. I'm hoping to buy it at the end of my deal. But, I am not somebody who is, like, going to go and spend masses of money, like, renting a private yacht or, like, doing those kind of flashy things. I, like, for my business strategy day recently, I took all of my people for a day to the beach, and we went to the arcades, and I gave them all a £5, and they had the best time in the world. That's the sort of thing that I bring to my business community. Yeah. It's not about being flashy. It's not about like all of the things that.
But I think that makes you more relatable, right?
Well,
it's not more about like, oh, this guy's untouchable, this girl's untouchable because she has the yacht, she has the car, she has the house, etc., etc. But
no.
And again, I think I think it's one of those things where you've got to choose, do you want to live to work or work to live?
I want to work to live, and I want to enjoy my kids, like as much as anyone can enjoy kids. I want to have a life where like I spend time with my friends and time with my family, and like I go to a lot of gigs, I go to a lot of festivals. Like if that was taken away from me, I would be very sad. Like, and if I was going to work more, that's my decision. Like,
but that's what I mean by like phases, right? And the stages you're in, right? And it's about actually having a longer, especially in a relationship. I don't know how you do it, but this is how I do it. Is right, this week, this month, this quarter, a lot of shit going on, right?
Yes.
I've launched a podcast, I'm doing this, I've got an event going on, I've got loads of client delivery, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So
what's your event, just out of curiosity?
AI, content creation, teaching young entrepreneurs how to do it in crux.
I love that.
Why AI is not a threat and how you can use it as a tool.
Nice.
Link in the description, those who are interested.
Yeah.
The crux, though, is I've got a lot on in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
So the conversation I had with my partner before that period was the next 3 months is going to be a bit rough.
Don't divorce me, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It will end at some point.
Yes.
Right? I'll get churn. I'll get to the point where the podcast, I'm so far ahead that it's fine, it doesn't matter, etc. I'll have a lot of, like, there'll be, when the kids are off school, client delivery will fall off a cliff because everyone wants to spend time with their kids, completely understandably, but that will be natural.
Yes.
So it's now about actually having the candor, the conversation, the understanding to say, I understand I'm not around as much as you want me to be.
Yeah.
I'm not showing up as much as I want to be for you.
Yes.
But this is important to grow the business for the next year.
Yeah.
So we need to sacrifice for 2 months, 3 months to allow to reap the rewards that will come in 6 months.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure that like me and my husband at some point went through that stage. Now it's very much like we're both working the same amount of hours. We're both having, like, because he works, he's just been promoted as well, so he's like head kitchen gardener for quite a big estate. You know, he has lots of things in the summer, like he's got to plant all his beds, and they have open garden days and like things where he's got to impress lots of rich people. So he has lots of things where he has to work.
Yeah.
I have lots of things because I've got like festivals and like things that I'm speaking at, and you know, I'm all over the place. And we always like have that little bit of time at the end of the day where we sit and we like debrief and we talk about the things, and like we know that we've both got the same end goal, which is moving house, and we've bought somewhere, we're just waiting to complete on it. But we know that that's not the end of our journey, because we're building a loft conversion, we're like having a garden office made, and like all sorts of different things where we're gonna need to still both of us work our asses off.
Yeah.
But it's about balance, and yes, it is about the stage that you're at, but it's also about understanding the boundaries of your relationship, the boundaries of your business, the boundaries of your friendship circle. Like my friends at the moment, like they barely see me, and the other day I was like, shit, do you guys like, you know, are you pissed off that you barely see me? And they were like, no, it's welcome relief actually, like really. Awesome. But they were like, we're also really busy, you know, we're not 20 anymore. Like actually we have all kind of moved on, like we're all in our relationships, we all, you know,
but also I think
have our special hobbies. And
I think when you're in that stage, or when you're out of that stage, you then value the time you do have with those people. Right, for some relationships, unfortunately, it will be like the reason why you grow apart and etc. And that's sad, but that's life, right?
Yes.
But for the people who stay, actually, when you have that committed time together, with your close friends, with your partner, with your family, etc.,
it makes it more special.
You then value that more because it's lesser, because there's less of it.
You know, I was one of those really lucky people that during I mean, I say lucky to a certain extent, but like during COVID, like my husband was classed as a key worker, so he was never home. So on one hand, it was the most unlucky thing in the world because I had to do childcare of 2 on my own, and that was like mentally damaging. Like I say damaging because like I literally every day I was like rocking in a corner by the time he came home. But it was great for our marriage because we weren't living on top of each other. We weren't constantly in each other's spaces. And, you know, you hear of people who were like, you know, they got divorced because of COVID because they had to spend time with their partner. Like, I like my relationship. Well, I don't just like my relationship. I love it. Like, it's great. We have a very, like, open. I said the other day that we have an open relationship, and my son was going around going, my mummy's in an open relationship. I'm like, that's something very different. Like, no, we're not. But you know, we are very open with each other. We're very trusting. Like, if either of us have got a problem, like, I mean, my husband is very much like, another work event. Oh God, well, this is like, and he does get a bit annoyed sometimes because I do work away a lot. And when I say to him, like, I need to go on holiday, and he's like, why? And I'm like, well, A, it's a working holiday. I'm going to go and I'm going to write my second book. But B, like, I don't get any time on my own ever. I'm either working, I'm parenting, or I'm with you. None of that equals alone time for me. So me going on holiday on my own means that I actually get time alone with me to relax with my thoughts, with nobody talking to me, so I can hyper-focus on the shit that I need to. And that's what I need. So
but I think that comes from firstly communicating what you need. Secondly,
it's
then both parties understanding.
Yeah.
And then if something has gone wrong,
Yes.
then there being a level of forgiveness there.
Yes.
And I think for me, like, they're my three keys in any relationship I have, right? Communicate, understand, and then forgive.
Yes.
And it's not that we're immune to making decisions and we're immune to getting things wrong. It's things are going to go wrong. How do we then deal with those things?
Exactly.
I'm going to overpush sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? And actually, how do we then bring that back and say, okay, I did this wrong.
Yeah.
How do I move forward, and how do we move forward so that doesn't happen again?
Yeah. In my mind, it's about communication. It's about boundaries. It's about trust. It's about open dialogue. And it's about kind of just being aware of your partner's needs, but also being aware of your needs and communicating that together. And that does really help where you are in a relationship. And I think often, especially when you're new in business and you're just working, because you kind of have to hustle at the beginning to kind of get something off the ground. That's kind of one of the pinnacle like, it's growth stages when relationships tend to suffer. And it's not just relationships with partners, it's relationships with children. It's relationships with friends or parents. Like, I mean, my mum quite often will say to me, no, I haven't seen you for like 2 months. I'm like, really? You saw me like last week? Like, you're being melodramatic. But it's that point where,
but that's your mum saying, I miss you.
Exactly.
I want to see you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I always, I'll always take that on board. Like, but she is equally as busy as me. She doesn't run a business. She just does a lot of music things. But again, it's all about, it all comes down to awareness.
Yeah.
And this is why I teach in the way that I would want to be taught myself, and having those 3 pillars, it's like life, business, money. Everything fits into that triangle. You just need to make sure you don't poke yourself in the eye with it.
Great place to end. Where can people find the book? Where can people find your podcast? Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I am
and don't you poke yourself in the eye with the triangle.
Don't poke yourself in the eye with the triangle. I am on all social media platforms, not saying that you have to be at all. Maddie Talks Money on Instagram, Mad About Money Official on TikTok, LinkedIn and Facebook, and everywhere else, Maddie Alexander-Grout. The book is here. I mean, you can't get it from here. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from all good bookshops as well. You can even order it in. If you don't have it, you can order it to your own library. I've had some people say to me that they've ordered it for their library, which I really like.
That's awesome.
So if you can't afford to buy the book, go and talk to your library, go and get them to have it in, and then multiple people can benefit from the book, which is nice. So thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. Great chat. Final thing to end on.
Yes.
If you were going to talk to yourself 10 years ago, what advice would you give?
I would tell myself that I am neurodivergent and to go and sort that shit out. It changed my life, genuinely changed my life, understanding my brain. When you understand your brain and you understand your body, anything's possible. Magic.
Thank you ever so much for coming back and joining me. If you did enjoy this longer conversation, then make sure to be subscribed. Leave your thoughts in the description down below, comments down below, etc., etc. And I'll see you very soon. Take care.